The affair between Bill Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States, and Monica Lewinsky, a White House intern, is one of the most well-known political scandals in American history. It began in 1995 when Monica Lewinsky, a 22-year-old intern, started working at the White House in the office of the Chief of Staff. Over time, she developed a personal relationship with President Clinton, which eventually turned sexual. The relationship continued intermittently for about 18 months, spanning from 1995 to 1997. Monica Lewinsky, who had confided in a friend about her involvement with the president, eventually became part of an investigation led by independent counsel Ken Starr. The affair was brought to public attention when Lewinsky's confidant, Linda Tripp, secretly recorded conversations where Lewinsky discussed her relationship with Clinton. These tapes were later handed over to Starr's office, sparking the investigation. The scandal escalated when Clinton denied the affair under oath in a deposition related to a sexual harassment lawsuit filed by former Arkansas state employee Paula Jones. Clinton famously stated, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." His denial, however, was proven false when DNA evidence from a stained dress belonging to Lewinsky was found to match Clinton's. The affair was widely reported in the media, and the details of their encounters became fodder for the press. In response, Clinton was impeached by the House of Representatives in December 1998 on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice related to the scandal. However, he was acquitted by the Senate in 1999, and he completed his second term as president. While his personal life was scrutinized and he faced public criticism, Clinton's approval ratings remained relatively high throughout the process. Monica Lewinsky's life was irrevocably changed by the scandal. She became a public figure, often facing ridicule and harsh media attention. Over time, she became an advocate against online bullying and a vocal supporter of mental health awareness. Lewinsky's role in the affair and the subsequent media frenzy continues to be a subject of debate, with many questioning the treatment she received in comparison to Clinton. The affair had significant political and cultural ramifications, influencing public perceptions of the presidency, media ethics, and the role of women in politics. The aftermath of the Clinton-Lewinsky affair had lasting effects on both their lives and the political landscape in the United States. Bill Clinton's legacy asterisk. While Clinton was acquitted in his impeachment trial and finished his second term with a strong economy and high approval ratings, the scandal never fully left him. His personal reputation was permanently tarnished by the affair, and it overshadowed many of his policy successes, particularly his work on welfare reform, economic growth, and foreign policy. In the years following his presidency, Clinton continued to remain a prominent figure in American politics. He worked on various philanthropic efforts, including the Clinton Foundation, which focused on global health, economic development, and climate change. However, his personal life remained a subject of scrutiny, and the affair was often revisited during his public appearances, particularly during the campaigns of his wife, Hillary Clinton, who ran for president in 2008 and 2016. The scandal was re-examined in media coverage and political commentary, often invoked by critics as a symbol of Clinton's moral failings. Monica Lewinsky's life after the scandal asterisk. Monica Lewinsky's life was deeply impacted by the scandal, but in the years following, she made efforts to rebuild her public image. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Lewinsky was vilified in the media. She faced intense public scrutiny and was often depicted as the other woman who brought down a sitting president. She became the target of jokes, late-night comedy sketches, and even tabloid mockery. For many years, Lewinsky disappeared from the public eye, choosing to focus on her personal life and professional endeavors. However, in the 2010s, Lewinsky began to reclaim her narrative and re-enter public life, using her experiences to advocate for the victims of online harassment and bullying. In 2014, she gave a TED Talk titled The Price of Shame, where she discussed the psychological and emotional toll that the scandal had taken on her and addressed the way society shames individuals, particularly women, in the age of social media. Her speech was well received, and it marked a shift in how the public viewed her. Lewinsky became a prominent voice in the conversation about cyberbullying and the mistreatment of women in the media. She also began to speak out about the power dynamics involved in her affair with Clinton, acknowledging the significant age and power difference, and how she had been manipulated by the media and others. Her perspective on the scandal shifted from that of a seductress to a more nuanced understanding of the complexities of the situation. Cultural and political impact asterisk. The Clinton-Lewinsky affair had wide-ranging cultural and political consequences. The scandal became a pivotal moment in American political history, especially in terms of public perceptions of personal morality in politics. It raised questions about the role of private conduct in evaluating a public servant's ability to govern. While Clinton's impeachment was technically related to perjury and obstruction of justice, the underlying issue, whether his behavior was morally acceptable for a sitting president, became a central debate. The affair also highlighted the double standards that women often face in situations of power and sex. Lewinsky, as a young intern, was often portrayed as a seductress, while Clinton, a powerful and older man, was given more leeway. The media's treatment of Lewinsky, often cruel and demeaning, sparked wider conversations about slut-shaming and the ways in which society holds women accountable for their sexuality, while excusing men in similar situations. The scandal also raised questions about the role of the media in shaping public opinion and how modern technology, particularly the internet, had changed the way scandals were reported and consumed. The media frenzy around Lewinsky and Clinton demonstrated the growing influence of 24-hour news cycles, tabloid journalism, and the internet in shaping public discourse. The widespread dissemination of personal information became a precedent for future political scandals and the treatment of public figures. Monica Lewinsky's redemption and modern perspective asterisk. As of the 2020s, Monica Lewinsky has become a symbol of resilience and a champion for addressing the psychological effects of public humiliation. She is also a vocal advocate for women's rights, particularly when it comes to issues of sexual harassment and the abuse of power. She has written essays, appeared in documentaries, and participated in interviews where she shares her story in the hope of encouraging more compassion and understanding for those who face public shaming. In 2021, Lewinsky was an executive producer of the FX miniseries Impeachment, American crime story which dramatized the scandal. She worked on the project to ensure that her perspective, as well as the broader social dynamics of the affair, were accurately represented. The series brought renewed attention to her role in the scandal, but also to her personal growth and the complex nature of her relationship with Clinton. Ultimately, the Clinton-Lewinsky affair remains one of the most significant scandals in modern American history, not only because of the political ramifications, but also because of the broader societal discussions it sparked around power, consent, media ethics, and gender. The affair changed the way the American public viewed the intersection of politics and personal morality, and it continues to shape conversations about how we treat public figures and women, in particular. Continuing from the impact on Monica Lewinsky's redemption and cultural implications, re-examination of power dynamics and consent asterisk. In recent years, the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal has been re-examined through the lens of modern conversations about power dynamics, consent, and gender. The hashtag #MeToo movement, which gained momentum in the late 2010s, sparked a broader societal reassessment of sexual misconduct, particularly in situations involving imbalanced power dynamics. The movement challenged traditional narratives that often blamed women for their involvement in such situations, especially when the man involved is a powerful or influential figure. This cultural shift has led many to reconsider how Clinton's affair with Lewinsky was perceived at the time. Monica Lewinsky has spoken openly about how, at the time of the affair, she did not fully understand the significance of the power imbalance between herself, a young intern, and Clinton, the President of the United States. In retrospect, she has acknowledged the complexities of their relationship, describing it as one in which she was emotionally vulnerable and manipulated in a variety of ways, including by the media and those around her. Lewinsky's own reflections on consent and power dynamics have evolved, especially as she has publicly discussed the pressure she felt from both Clinton and others to keep their relationship secret. While the affair was consensual from Lewinsky's perspective at the time, the growing public discourse around sexual harassment and abuse of power has led to a reevaluation of the dynamics that played out between her and Clinton. Critics have questioned whether Lewinsky, as a young intern, could have truly given informed consent in a situation where the power disparity was so extreme. This perspective, which emerged more prominently in the wake of the #MeToo movement, views the affair not only as a personal transgression by Clinton, but also as an illustration of how systemic power imbalances can shape personal relationships. Clinton's legacy and public perception *. Bill Clinton's legacy has also been scrutinized in light of the changing understanding of consent, abuse of power, and sexual misconduct. For many years after the scandal, Clinton remained a popular figure, with many seeing him as a charismatic and successful president who helped steer the U.S. through economic prosperity in the 1990s. His impeachment was viewed by some as a partisan attack, and his approval ratings remained high despite the scandal. However, as societal attitudes toward issues of sexual misconduct have evolved, Clinton's actions have come under renewed scrutiny. The revelation of his affair with Lewinsky, combined with other allegations of sexual misconduct that have surfaced over the years, have led some to reevaluate his presidency and the way he handled matters of personal integrity. Clinton's public image has become more polarized, with some defending him as a victim of political warfare and others condemning his behavior as emblematic of a broader culture of sexism and disregard for women's voices. The affair also raised the question of how the public judges politicians based on their personal lives. In Clinton's case, many Americans separated his personal failings from his political achievements, whereas, for other political figures, similar scandals have led to greater public fallout. The discrepancy in how Clinton was treated compared to others has been a point of contention in discussions about the intersection of morality and politics. The role of the media *. The media's role in the Clinton-Lewinsky affair also deserves further examination. At the time, the relentless coverage of the scandal contributed to an almost obsessive national fixation on the details of Clinton's personal life. The media often sensationalized the affair, treating Lewinsky as a tabloid figure and Clinton's extramarital affair as a spectacle. The media's focus on Lewinsky as a seductress further victimized her, turning her into the central figure of ridicule and judgment, rather than focusing on the context of the power dynamics at play. As the years passed, many commentators and critics have revisited the ethical issues surrounding the media's treatment of Lewinsky. She was often depicted as little more than a punchline, and her personal life was exposed in ways that seemed to have little regard for her dignity or humanity. The advent of the internet and social media has only compounded the issue, with Lewinsky becoming an early example of how online platforms could exacerbate the public shaming of individuals. Lewinsky's experience has since become a case study in the dangers of public humiliation, online harassment, and the lack of privacy in the digital age. In more recent years, some media outlets and journalists have apologized for their role in Lewinsky's vilification. She has acknowledged the ways in which the media landscape of the 1990s and early 2000s exacerbated the trauma she experienced, and she has become an advocate for changing the narrative around public shaming, particularly for women in politics. The Impeachment, American Crime Story Series *. The 2021 Impeachment, American Crime Story miniseries, which dramatized the events of the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal, was a watershed moment in the cultural re-examination of the affair. Lewinsky herself was involved in the production of the series, acting as an executive producer and ensuring that her perspective and voice were accurately represented. The show sparked renewed interest in the scandal, but it also reframed the story, presenting a more empathetic and nuanced view of Lewinsky, showing her as a young woman caught in an exploitative situation. The series also raised important questions about the power dynamics at play in the scandal, emphasizing how the media and political environment created a perfect storm for the vilification of Lewinsky. It illustrated the personal toll the affair took on her, and examined the ways in which women's experiences in similar situations are often dismissed or distorted. The miniseries was praised for its ability to present the affair as a complex and multifaceted story, with a focus on the people involved, rather than just the scandal itself. The lasting legacy of the scandal asterisk. The Clinton-Lewinsky affair continues to be a touchstone in American culture, representing not only the intersection of politics and personal behavior, but also broader conversations about power, gender, and media ethics. Over the years, Clinton and Lewinsky have both worked to rebuild their lives and careers, with Lewinsky emerging as an advocate for women's rights and against public shaming, and Clinton continuing his post-presidency philanthropic work. The scandal also remains a reminder of how society can treat women in positions of vulnerability and how media narratives can shape public perceptions in ways that are both harmful and misleading. As attitudes toward power, consent, and public shaming continue to evolve, the Clinton-Lewinsky affair will likely remain a significant case study in the intersection of personal and public life, and the ongoing struggles for accountability and fairness in our media and political systems.